Hey guys, Jay here. This is just a sneak peek of the concept that I am trying to work on. There is no guarantee it will work in endgame yet because I have not finished with the character. I don't have any gold left, and I will need to farm a little bit more. But this is going to be the concept, right? And I am going to just stand still here basically, and as you can see, it just clears everything. So if this worked in the end game, we are looking at something that is viable as a zero button build. So you can just walk around and just kills everything. Defensively, obviously again this is not optimized yet, but defensively I am working around with this Ligurium talisman, so I am energy shield stacking. Well, sadly I tried to make life happen, but for life there is a particular problem that you cannot have enough life, except if you go for Gemling Legionnaire and you have strength stacking, but then you cannot really scale the damage for any kind of zero button setup right now. So you kind of have to go ES, and using the Ligurium talisman, it translate your life regeneration into energy shield. It translates in the sense that if you have for example percentage life regen here, it will becomes percentage of your energy shield. So it is very, very strong, and you can have this corruption. Normally this percentage regeneration is very hard to get on skill tree. You normally don't find it basically anywhere with a decent amount, but you can have it on corrupted rings. This is a one exalt ring by default, so even if you cannot buy the corruption yourself, you can just buy a lot of them and just corrupt yourself. It's just going to take a little bit of time basically. And I am searching for just basically some life and regen, and any extra resist is very good, so I would just take this one. It is literally 10 exalt. I had bought this one a little bit earlier. And then your helmet, the same, you can have up to 2%. So these are the things that you can have. You can have percentage on your body armor, but unfortunately it is on rare body armor, and you need to use Ghost Wraith for this kind of build to get a bunch of energy shield. And yeah, what I am building around is Earthbound. This I learned from Wolfio. He just got a video out actually that show his character. He used this staff to trigger a lot of spark, but he also self-cast stuff. But my goal is I want to make a passive characters. So I use Killjoy here. That is also his tech, not mine. But this is a very good way to actually get a bunch of energy shield, not energy shield, but a bunch of spark proc. And the way that I am sustaining mana, so normally you cannot really sustain this amount of mana. Maybe you can do mana on kill, sure, that can help you, but I am trying to mess around with the Infernal Flame here, because Infernal Flame, I think we can sustain the amount of damage from Infernal Flame. That is just my theory. I would just get back to... oh shit. Yeah, with Infernal Flame, we are Infernalist obviously, and this will have to sustain the mana for your Ascendancy. I will take this one, and then I will take Outer Flesh for some tankiness. We are CI, so we have 20% immune to physical damage. And then the conversion for damage for cold and lightning to fire just make we are a little bit more tanky towards cold and lightning penetration. And eventually I would take this one for more energy shield, because more energy shield also means our regen is better. This skill tree can work so much better. There's a lot of things that I do not have gold to respec. I would just remove all this area. And just so you know, by the way, this 2%, 0.2% regen works, but the increased life regeneration rate doesn't work, right? The only thing that works is the Soul Bloom here, which increased energy shield recovery rate. It is energy shield recovery rate. So the base number of regen got converted into base ES regen. So it is based on the total amount of ES, but the increase doesn't work. So yeah, so just so you know there. So basically all this side of the skill tree, as I try to test it out, all this side of the skill tree is pretty much useless, because what we can have here is just a lot of regen, basically. Just a lot of like regen stuff we can get here. Life recovery rate, increased regeneration, but it's not like 0.2%. The only good notes that we can kind of want is this one is pretty good, regen 0.75%. This one's 0.5, this one is 0.5. Normally you can get like 0.5. You can have 0.5 here, pretty close. So I think right now the most amount of regen that we can have is from the corruption. You can have up to 6%. Let's just say realistically, if you have like decent gear, you can have like 5% from all these 3 slot, maybe 5.5. You can have 0.1% from vitality, and that is also the reason why I want to go for spirit here, because I don't have like a lot of spirit. I need to use the staff, and the amulet is kind of fixed as well. The body armor is fixed as well, so you can have up to 35 spirit from this one. That's everything from gear, really. And you cannot get corruption spirit in this one as well. So extra spirit here will allow me to fit in a lot of reservation. And reservation is very good because we are a passive build and we can potentially benefit a lot from a lot of reservation. I don't even have the exact setup, but that is the idea, right? And then finally I can get more energy shield. So this is 2-point ascendancy only. I do not have time to do more. So yeah, this is going to be the plan. For damage scaling, as we have this whole entire section of the skill tree removed, we'll have a lot of points. I can go for crit. Probably I would just go crit because this area have a lot of crit. For spell, I would go a little bit more into shock because we need to shock because the spark here need to kill enemy for shock. And how to deal with single target? Well, right now, to be honest, for single target, we kind of need to go for like an active setup. And right now, I'll see eventually when I have this point, I will see how the spirit situation is, and we can do something with like barrier invocation or something. The gem that, you know, get energy shield, get energy from you taking damage to energy shield. Right, so that is the idea. Or the worst case scenario, we would just self-cast, I think. So that is the worst case scenario. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you have an idea that I can potentially use to like min-max this character to make it work. By the way, right now, the damage that I am using to proc Spark initially is Arctic Armor. So I need a melee monster. I know it's not optimal, but you know, for mapping, normally you should find a melee monster, really. For example, this boss, if I just stay here, right, I cannot do anything to it. Like, almost not anything. If I do not cast, but I can wait for... Here, if I just want to have the passive playstyle, I can wait like this, and you know, it's decent, right? It's decent. And obviously you can self-cast stuff like the comment as you've just seen. So yeah, right now I am using Whisper of the Brotherhood. I think this is mandatory for the passive playstyle because of Arctic Armor. It deals cold damage, and I want to convert it to lightning damage, so it just naturally shock. And also because this is a unique ring, a very common one, very cheap one, you can easily fish for a corruption for the regen. And right now, with this amount, with a very, very unoptimized skill tree, I have a 500 energy shield per second. For 6k, if I have vitality, right now I don't have vitality, by the way. I should put, right now I actually have vitality. So I have vitality, and then I still have 2% from the font of blood, which I can just put in a, for example, I think Orb of Storm is going to be the best one. It's just like an immovable object that will be there, and when I'm near it, I have 2% regen, which is going to be an extra amount, and then maybe we can get just more regen from other sources. I will need to find it out. But anyway, that is the whole idea, so let me know what you think again, and comment if you have any idea. How should I improve this? So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoy, and stay tuned for the update for this build. I think it's going to be a very spicy one, so peace.